Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Greg Tech New Horizons. This is Zypher and I'm lagging out of my mind. No, but seriously, we've been in search of this Tainted biome for going on 20 minutes now, and I think I finally found it. Yeah, you are one ugly pig. Ow! What a jerk! Oh, now a tainted chicken that's incredibly fast. Oh my god. Oh, you're turning. Oh, you're turning, buddy. That's not good. Can we witness you switch over? Oh, ow. What is that? Are those the tendrils? Did I get anything useful? I did get some goo. But I think that dissolves in your inventory, but we'll see how long I can hold on to it. Now, what we really came here... Not you. Not what we came here for. What we really came here for was to test this out. If these damn things would ever leave us alone, I might be able to set it off. I believe we just take our flint and steel and set it off. Oh yeah, that was definitely the way to go. Herba, Terra, Vidium, Victus, Arbor, we have all types of crystallized essence now. Looks like another good spot. I think that should be enough for now. We can always come back if we ever need some more. And with an inventory full of crystallized essentia, we return home. Maybe. Okay, now I should be able to do what I wanted to do hours ago. First up, Vidium. You get a label. Next up is our copper. And we'll wait for this jar to fill all the way up with metallum before we place the second jar, just to make our life easy. Now we should see permutatio come in here. Or we don't get the permutatio at all. Wonder why that is. Because they're all right here. Got it. So I think if I just do a little enable of a round robin thing here, it will allow all of these to circulate back to where they belong. Which means I need to change this setup ever so slightly so that doesn't happen anymore. Now our last two jars will be Percantio, and now we can do the moon dirt, which gives us coincidentally all three aspects that we need left. Also, yes, I know I should put a bellows underneath this buffer to speed up its extraction, but that's a lot of effort that I don't feel like putting forth at the moment. I lied, I went ahead and made it. Even though our jars are probably done now. Now I should just be able to place our jars down and start our infusion craft. Let's double check. We have all of our ingredients in. We can check the stability. It's only going to be a total of 10. And we just need 16, 16, 32 of the rest. 16, 16, 32, 64, 64, 64. I think we can go ahead and start the craft for our Dislocation Focus. And our focus is complete. Thank you. Now we can put him to the test. That did not work at all. Do I have to shift right click with it maybe? Let's test it with something different. It is indeed a shift right click. Now I can properly dislocate it. But what I really want to show you is why this entire forestry farm is gone. Have any guesses? Welcome to our new addition, a max-sized IC2 farm. Still need some decorations, but this took me hours to do, and it is going to pay off tremendously. Now, not only did I grab these wonderful electromagic boots of the Traveler, but I started working on some PTFE automation. Here we have a fully automatic polytetrafluoroethylene, hydrogen input, fluorine input, goes into an output hatch that then auto inserts into an input hatch. On the top we have methane and chlorine being pumped in via our fluid network over there. That creates our tetrafluoroethylene, which has a control fluid detector cover into a machine control cover, and then deposits into this input hatch, which end result makes PTFE. Now, what am I doing with all the excess, you may ask? Well, here I have a setup going for 3 different fluid solidifiers. One's going to be strictly for PTFE, the next will be for epoxid, and the last one for silicone rubber. We might need some more eventually, but this will do us for now. It is being level emitter controlled, set to 512, which we have in stock at the moment. Now, all of that PTFE is about to be used to process this platinum residue dust down into our first step will be Iridium. This is something that is going to be a massive project to tackle, but fear not, I think we can do it. Well, there's a reason I've been putting this one task off, and it's because I knew this was going to be a pain. I've got a little bit of a setup going here, but I'm about to put it to the test and make sure that everything works as the way I want it to. I've done some fluid filtering to get input fluids and things that we're going to need. I've got extraction to go back into the network. Things are filled with what they should be filled with. So, and I think I have the power set up too. Transformer going into HV hatches with the same kind of setup over here. And over here, I even did verify I've got hydrochloric acid coming in for part of the process. Oh, I did leave a part out. Whoops. So I think I'm going to try and give it a go. I haven't added any disabling methods now that I think about that. That could be a problem. This step voids or outputs steam. Speaking of, where's the super tank that was supplying steam for this? Here it is, where this whole setup was. For now, I'm just going to put this there. Add a fluid conduit. For some reason, I have to come into utility mode and cheat one in just to do filters, because if I'm on recipe mode, it doesn't let me drag in and set the filter for some reason. See, I can take it away, but I can't set it now. I have to go back into utility mode to do it. Somebody help. Well, since I'm recording, join me in watching and seeing if anything burns. Since I have the filter set at 64, we'll check and see that I have no platinum residue dust. What happened? Well, it doesn't help that I was looking at the wrong recipe. I needed to look for this rarest metal residue and some sodium ruthenate. Sodium ruthenate? Oh no, where's the rarest metal? Don't you worry. Hopefully it's in the blast furnace. Bada boom, bada bing. Platinum residue is supposed to go in this blast furnace, which just needs these to work. For those to work, I just needed to re-enable this guy. You can see this part of the process has started. Therefore, I should see this input bus start to fill up here soon. There we go. Now for this recipe to run, we only need one at a time. It's going to run through our molten potassium disulfate, and I'll show you what I've decided to do for that setup. Should be able to enable him. I'm going to let this setup stop once it runs this hatch dry. But this is our setup so far for that, and I just really need to tap into the item conduit network to be able to fill this chemical reactor with sulfur and potassium and oxygen as well. I think I might upgrade this fluid extractor as it was proving not able to keep up with even the EV blast furnace earlier, so we'll have to see. But for now, we'll just hook it up and let it run and do its thing. Run through all its stuff. I'll get reminded when it stops running over here. So in theory, I should be able to keep him going. I know it's just going to void the steam, but I'm not really too concerned about steam at the moment. When we set the oil cracker back up, it'll balance out. Well, it looks like this half is running fine. Let's look at this half now. We already established this is indeed getting its rarest metal residue, and if we look at the recipe, we only need hydrochloric. It'll output iridium metal as well as acidic osmium. We have hydrochloric being input. We have extraction set up for acidic osmium, with the super tank over here similar to rhodium, just for the simple fact that I'm not going to be processing this quite yet. I know it will be soon. And here we have the insert filter of that iridium metal residue, so we should see it start to pop up in here before I enable the machine. And the shared output bus will extract everything else, and it'll hopefully be deposited into the network. So we'll start by enabling this machine. Since I've established that other side works, I'm going to do a backup real quick. We are indeed getting the iridium metal residue, and our super tank is getting the osmium solution. Perfect. Next, we just need to ensure that in our ME system we see the sludge dust residue as well as iridium dioxide. Great, we have both. Now that brings us to these bad boys. You know, as a matter of fact, let me set up a better system for hydrogen first. This super tank is starting to run pretty low. I don't feel like electrolyzing all of this, as my chlorine levels are super high. We'll go with an EV energy hatch, connect our fluid line. We should see methane in here. Great. Water in here. Now we just need some power. Stupid conduits connect all the time. And last but not least, our disabling system. Matter of fact, I'm going to upgrade the hatch. Now we'll add our fluid detection system. All that should remain is a circuit. And we'll start to see some hydrogen. I forgot to lock the hatch. Oh boy. Shall we try again? There's the lovely hydrogen. And there we have it. A system to make us hydrogen, therefore we won't ever run out. Goes directly into the super tank, which is also with a bunch of our other chemicals. This will start to eventually be moved into multi-blocks, but for now it does us the job. Now to get started over here. For our first large chemical reactor, we need iridium dioxide and hydrochloric acid. That will give us this solution, which we will then send through another chemical reactor with some ammonium chloride, which actually gives us the ammonia back. That's nice. Okay, I think I have this all wired up and ready for takeoff. And there's one thing I always say. There's one way to find out. There's the iridium dioxide. Got hydrochloric already ready. Maybe we could test this sucker out. It should, in theory, turn off if the threshold is reached. We'll turn this down to 1 just to play it safe for now. Good, it turned it off. That means I could even bump this up a little bit further. So it should shut off and we'll see 14,000. This step is going to combine with ammonium chloride, give us the iridium chloride dust as well as some return ammonia. We are seeing this last hatch fill up with iridium chloride. That combines with the calcium. And pause because we are not getting rid of our ammonia for some reason. The source of our problem, this conduit not being on in and out. And now we can see our ammonia is slowly starting to fill back up. Might have to toggle with this a little bit until I get it right, as I'm producing ammonia over here. And I'm not quite sure how to get this to stop producing if it's full. Because if I have that LCR contributing, eventually the super tank will fill up, and then this will just stay running in void. If this doesn't, then, like if I put the cover on here to disable that when it's full, then what do I do for over here? I need iridium to continue processing regardless if we have ammonia or not. So I think we're going to probably void it in the grand scheme of things, but we'll see how this plays out. What I should do is go see how much of this iridium dioxide we have to blow through. I have about 400 of it. And our last step, I think we can go ahead and enable. How could I forget to actually connect energy? Now I think we should be ready to function. Overclocked, it only takes 3 seconds. That is absolutely beautiful. But we already have a slight problem. I'm getting no fluid output into here. Why is that? Probably because its hatch is set that way. Let's face you to the side. There you go, much happier. All the calcium chloride gets sent back over to our system, which should somehow, yep, there it goes, make its way back into calcium and into an infinite loop. Now let's see how well this can keep up. As long as we can see it wait, we'll know it won't ever back up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should be the start of a great amount of iridium production. Shall we go take a look at the ME system? 26 dust and counting. I think we have made significant progress in the plat line. So now we can come over here and smelt up some fresh iridium. And after a wee bit of grinding, now I can make tier 2 ore drilling rig. And from all the motors I had to make, I decided, why not? Let's make some enchanted IV loot bags and see what we get out of them. Oh my goodness. I got an IV monster replicator. That means I can disassemble the EV one that I made. That's wonderful. Some borosilicate glass, huge tungsten steel pipes, and 4 IV motors. That was a good run. Oh, it feels so good to have this in my hands. Tier 2 ore drilling plant. Now, before I get too involved with the ore drilling plant and figuring out a location and setting up ore processing, I kind of want to get some central power storage. We do already have this as our central storage. However, I'd really like to get into this Lapatronic supercapacitor. So I think this smaller little square here will be where I put it, which means I'm going to need to move the clean room and reconfigure some wiring. And for now, we're going to put the clean room up top here where I plan to do a lot of the circuit processing. And just like that, we finally have a built clean room. All I gotta do is move all of our machines over and we should be good. And I completely goofed and forgot I had all of this blast screen down here still. Now last but not least, I should just need to connect everything together. Fix our maintenance and start it up. Next up, I think I want to go to the Nether and solve a little bit of our calcium problem. And we have the same stupid 1-up Ghast that only takes 1 health of damage. I think he's a vampire one or something. I got a solution for this. Yeah, keep playing. I've been trying to fight that Ghast for the last week. Hey there, little buddy. Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted upon arrival, these are exactly what I'm after. That is one of the worst things about coming to the Nether. They really need to fix that. Now, the first thing we're going to do is pulverize all of this down into bone meal. We're going to electrolyze it 3 at a time so that we can start adding to our calcium. Over 500 in this one drawer. Look at all the bone meal just from those 4 little things. I added it to this interface, so we should see this start to electrolyze and send calcium in, which in turn should reactivate some of these processes. Yep. Earlier, I also put in quite a bit of iridium that we're going to vacuum freeze down. Now, on to our next journey. One of the first things is going to be to raid this tower and see if maybe we can find a skeleton spawner. Well, no such luck at the tower, so next thing we're going to do is find a waterfall coming out of a tree. Interesting concept. Is find this other Naga fortress, since apparently we didn't pick up the achievement the first time. Whoopee! Let's head for the second Lich Tower. Hello, buddy. Knock out all the shields. And just beat him to death. We have another Lich trophy, as well as 6 Lich bones, that's nice. Another Scepter of Twilight. All types of goodies. Oh, and look at this guy trying to meet his demise. Oh, and a drown to go with him. Stop dodging my bullets. I really wanted a skeleton spawner, but it appears we're not going to be able to locate that. Unless that's one. It is. Let me not die in the process of doing this. Here's our exit. Safe and sound with the skeleton spawner. I'll show you what we're going to do with that later. For now, we have one more stop to make. Look at this, the swamp has been cleared. Now we found the entrance to the labyrinth, which means we actually have 2 more stops. Here's 1 stop. I'm lagging like hell. And we'll see how easily I can clear this. I've had a hard time with this in the past, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, these suckers are fast. That's what I remember about this place last time. Why is there just a million spiders coming out of nowhere? Found him! I have to enter the same room as him. Gather all of our goodies. I believe we're done here. I can come back and grab goodies another time if I ever need anything from here, but this is pretty much all I think I want. Look at this backpack, just completely stuffed full of shit. Now to our final place of interest, which I really hope it's not raining here because that would not make much logical sense. This is what we are in search of. How am I taking no damage? You don't want to die? That's the first damage you did to me? Is you bit me? There's our trophy and some fiery blood. And we can now leave the Twilight Forest. I introduced to you our upgraded skeleton spawner. Powerless this time. Now, even though I get a fair share of heads this way, I still feel like it's not good enough. Just through a little bit of exploring, I found the Skullfire sword in the New Horizons tab that seems to give skulls regardless. So we're going to build that. That's what this entire gathering has been for. Mostly this fiery sword, that was the Twilight Forest segment, if you didn't put those 2 together yet. A mimic. You think you're slick, buddy. Now to start on making this Skullfire sword, we're going to start distilling down some skeleton skulls. Our first jar will be for Examinus. Next jar for Mortis. Then we'll add a third for Spiritus, which we won't be using right now. And using our handy dandy cheat sheet, I found that stock actually has 1 corpus, which will be the next thing that we smelt down into an essentia, which leaves us only with aurum left to get. And last but not least, we'll just gather the rest of our aurum essentia, and we should be ready for our infusion. Grab our fancy gold-banded transmutative scepter. And I say we go ahead and run it. And look what's ready for us. A beautiful Skullfire sword. That dog is a literal idiot. Anyways, I've come here to test the Skullfire sword we just got done crafting. Definitely gonna need some damage enhancements, I can see. Well, I'd have to say 3 skulls from each one of these skeletons is pretty OP. I hope you know what this means. And what this means is more wither killing. Yo, how did you even survive that? And now finally something I can do. I've been waiting to do this for so long. 71V combined with all of our discounts, we can make ender tanks like it's no man's business. Just come over here and water our little primal shrooms and get our second one Now we have a total of 4. This one we'll set up with the drilling fluid in our base. Our next tank, I think what we'll do is put on refinery gas, and we'll dye this one white, yellow, white. Then we'll add an HV pump to the top of it, which will export refinery gas into this ender tank. And for the hell of it, because I only had 7 Harukan left, I'm just going to make one of these prospector scanners and see how long it lasts me. I know they're not that great, but we're going to try it. And now we go back to Mars so we can test the sucker out. So as we can see, I have a bunch of ores already scanned from previous trip here. However, the only dash vein I've been able to see, unless I'm blind, is this one. So I think we might go and expand out this way and scan some, see if we can't find a different set of dash veins that this miner will be able to handle a lot better. Now, I believe if I scan somewhere right here, maybe even one chunk back, I should be able to get a full field. Let's try this thing out. It definitely worked, but not a single dash vein in sight. How about here? Dash and dash with a tetrahedrite, gold vein, sulfur. I think this is a fair spot to place the miner. Let's get to work. There's a complete structure, and we have a running fine status. First, I want to check and make sure this will detect less than the 896. We'll do 128 to start. And right off the bat, we have a problem. I always forget about the damn cover. We need to disable you with redstone. I want to say if I just keep this on threshold of 1 and detecting all slots, that means anytime this bus has anything in it at all, it will turn the machine off, and it looks like that has worked. So we're going to let it run like this, and we'll come back in quite some time and see how this is done. Actually, we won't be coming back. We'll be looking in our ender chest. Well, a quick trip indeed, but this will supply us with a lot more tungsten to further our progression. That was almost really bad. I completely left our chest there. Oh well. Now here, we just need to attach a pump that will export our drilling fluid being made into the super tank. That should keep our miner satisfied for a long time. Here we can monitor just how much refinery gas is being consumed by our miner. Let me get random feathers and eggs. And if we come over here, we can see the output of our miner thus far. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and end this episode. For about 30-minute mark, this is a long one. I feel like I got a lot accomplished. If you watched all the way to the end, I'd like to thank you very much. I appreciate your support, and hope you'll join me next time so we can go ahead and start building this Lapatronic supercapacitor. I think this is going to be a good little spot for it, considering this is where our centralized power generation is, and we'll have to go around and snip all the wires and replace them all. So I can look forward to that fun little mashup for the next video. Anyways, thank you again for watching. There's a ton more large machinery to be added to this in the future. Hope you stay along for the ride. Bye now.